But in an effort to try and discredit Mr. Sibrel's work, National Geographic strikes again, and they did a special, and you're not going to believe this. In fact, I can't even do it justice. I'm going to have to play about 6 or 7 minutes of this just so that you can see the kind of crap that people do to try and discredit something. And ultimately, if you're paying attention, what they actually do here is they prove 100% that Bart is right and that it was shot on a stage. They absolutely prove it 100%. They make up stupid straw men and ridiculous arguments like, well, we have to go out to the desert at night and then we have to use these searchlights because, that's the only way we can emulate the sun. It's like, well, as Bart points out, well, why don't you just shoot it during the day and see how the shadows work, right? Well, the reason that won't work is because if you shot it during the day with the sun, then you would not get any intersecting shadows. However, when you have a studio light in close proximity, and all you have to do is have the subjects that are in front of that at slightly different angles from that light, and of course the shadows are going to then cast in a different direction. So ultimately what they do in their effort of trying to debunk this, they absolutely verify 100% exactly what Bart is saying. And like I said, this is too good to not, share with everybody. So here, if you haven't seen this, it's going to be a treat. Darren, I know you have, but everybody, let's give this a listen.
First of all, let's just see what they're attempting to do here. The sun is about 93 million miles away. So if you go out at noon on a sunny day, or you look at two objects, these two telephone poles are about, I don't know, 8 feet apart from one another, you see that the shadows never intersect. It's impossible for them to intersect because the sun is 93 million miles away. It has a diameter 1,000 times bigger than the Earth, and it's going to cast light evenly on any surface on the Earth. The shadows will fall in the same direction forever, all the time. And that's why when you look at pictures that were taken in a television studio, such as the moon landing pictures were, and here's an example, I believe this is from Apollo 14, you can see that you have an astronaut shadow going at 12 o'clock and a shadow of a rock over here going at about 9 o'clock. And they're only, about 5 feet apart from one another. So this is simply impossible to be taken by sunlight. You can even do a little side-by-side comparison here, and you'll see that this is simply impossible to have been taken with sunlight, which means it was taken with electrical light, which means it was taken in a television studio, which means they're on Earth, which means the moon landings are fake. So, this beleaguered attempt that we're about to see to disprove my movie goes something like this.
To test these conspiracy claims, we relied on our own technical knowledge as filmmakers to create a lunar set.
Oh, pride comes before a fall. They're boasting about what great filmmakers they are and how it makes them an expert. Uh-oh, they're in trouble.
We chose the Trona Pinnacles, a desert area 4 hours from Hollywood, the home of movie making. Our moon set will be used as a backdrop, not to fake our own lunar landings, but to challenge the hoax theories. And though we can't duplicate the intensity of the sun...
Oh, they can duplicate the intensity of the sun. You know how you do it? You wait 12 hours and go to the same spot and use the sunlight to simulate sunlight. But they're using electrical light to simulate sunlight. You see this? They say they can't duplicate the sun. Sure they can. They just wait 12 hours and shoot it during the sun, right?
Here in the night desert, our single studio light is powerful enough for our experiments. By testing some of the most famous conspiracy arguments, can we put the lunar fraud theories to rest?
Yeah, they're going to put them to rest. They're going to prove that they're true. So what they're doing is they're using an electrical light to simulate the sunlight to see if the shadows intersect or not. Real interesting, huh?
Once and for all. The morning after the shoot, the negatives are developed at a professional processing laboratory in Los Angeles.
In our experiment in the desert, we shot a variety of photographs using different film formats. In this 35mm photograph, we see that the shadows of the crew members in our single light source very distinctly converge together. In fact, there's almost a 90-degree difference in the apparent shadow direction.
Okay, so he's saying, look, we simulated the moon pictures and they intersect, therefore the moon landings must be real. Hello, everybody. They used an electrical light to simulate the moon pictures. And just like I said, they do intersect at 90 degrees, which proves that the moon pictures were lit with electrical light. Do you see this? He actually proves that the moon landings were lit with electrical light, meaning that they're fake, all the while he's trying to convince you that the fact that the shadows intersect with an electrical light means that the moon landing pictures are real, when it's that very evidence that proves that they're false.
These results directly contradict the conspiracy claims. The results of our photographic experiment appear to be overwhelming.
Okay, they again said it contradicts the conspiracy claims when it does the exact opposite. It proves that the moon landings were shot with electrical light. I mean, this just boggles my mind. And when I point this out to these and other producers who were previously going to have me on the show, who paid me in advance, they refuse to have interviews of me aired, even if they're already spent tens of thousands of dollars paying me for it, flying me, putting me up in hotels. And they, once I contradict the story that the moon landings are real and prove it, then they don't have that evidence on the program. So how can the National Geographic actually be interested in finding out whether the moon landings are real or not? I mean, it's really, really amazing.